Yo, you know it's funny. I usually not always Adidas, but today I'm kind of Adidas up because you know these shit too.
Oh, fresh, right? They got some black ones like that, stripes across the toes.
You know what?
Pretty comfortable. I was thinking about some like flats like that.
These are the most comfortable things. I just be beating them up.
No, that's look. That's look.
Yeah, why not? Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day, y'all like that. I like that, man. For real. Sunday fun day.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. I say happy Sunday on Sunday fun day.
Definitely. Yeah.
So it's important for me to talk to you today about what we're doing.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me when you're ready, Alex.
I am ready.
All right. Yeah. So it's important for me to talk to you today about what we're doing, and really figure out why we're here.
Okay.
I've heard a lot about you, like in my years of shooting images. Like I've always heard DJ Mav. You know what I mean? But I never knew who DJ Mav was. You know, DJ Maverick. So being able to see you around and in clubs and stuff, I used to run into you, snap a shot. I got a couple pictures of you, just kind of like running through the club, about to perform. I think it was when you was first starting your music.
Okay.
And just kind of seeing you, like, oh, so that's DJ Maverick,
Right.
A lot of people love you, got a lot of support in the city, and your name rings bells, most of all. You know what I mean? Your name rings bells, it really does. People know DJ Maverick from the radio, but they know when they hear that name, you're doing something, you're working hard, you're making connections, and you're out and about. And I think that's what really drew me to you in the past few months.
Right.
Being able to connect with you and see your fan base and see how you move and actually meet you in person.
Right.
So when I first shot with you, I was glad that Devin introduced me to you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coming through, and I got to shoot with you. And every time I shoot for hip hop, Moment of Flavor for me is all about visual soul.
Right.
Really being able to connect with the person and have them experience like something that I'm joyful in, or I take a lot of pride in,
Yeah.
And it's my joy to photograph people and have them see their own reflection and say, oh wow, I like that picture of me, you know what I mean? And it makes me feel good to see that the people love themselves, at the moment, and they're able to express that. Because I don't think people do that a lot out in person, but it's kind of an impulsive thing that they do when we shoot, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I like that.
And let me just say, your joy like shows in your work. Your body of work is just like you're able to capture those moments, for whoever it is that you've been shooting. Because I've seen your work and obviously I've shot with you, so I just wanted to commend you on that.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you so much. I call it visual soul. I think people should, in Boston being small, I figured we should know ourselves and be able to represent who we are.
Yeah.
And that's knowing what we want to do, or like who we want to introduce ourselves as, because that makes us feel more confident. And people should be able to feel our energy before they kind of meet us, right? They should be able to feel good things, whether it's a conversation, pictures, and words. Feel good things about that person before they meet them. And that's kind of the legacy and legend I want to leave behind with Moment of Flavor.
Okay.
Having people be able to not only represent themselves, but say, hey, maybe that was my first photo shoot, or maybe the first time I really felt like I was going somewhere in my field. I felt like it was time in that moment to really go hard. You know what I mean? So, what got you interested in music?
Man, it's just a lifelong love of the artistry of it all. I grew up in a very musical household.
Okay.
Mom was always playing, reggae. Both my parents are Jamaican, so yeah, that was always just the constant. You know what I'm saying? You had either the reggae or R&B just on blast at all times. Back when I was growing up, it was WILD, it was 88.9, and Jimin.
Jimin 9.5, yeah.
Right.
Is that how you got kind of inspired? What got you inspired, to be like, all right, I'm going to be I love music, but I feel in this radio station.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. When I was 8 years old, I wrote a letter to a DJ. He was actually on WILD. Shout out to Elroy. I wrote a letter to a DJ, and I told him how much I liked his show and listening to him. He had me come up to the radio station.
Wow, he was 11?
Right there in Dudley. I was 8.
8 years old.
I was
wow.
8.
That's right.
Yeah, and so he had me come up to the radio station, and I got to shout out my friends.
Wow.
That was ill.
That's big.
That kind of at 8 to kind of experience that was yo, I like this, and I like the way that I was able to make my friends feel when I even just shouting them out. That was a big, at 8 years old,
yeah.
And the radio was it, you know what I'm saying? As far as a medium of communication, that was it. Radio or TV, there wasn't no internet at that point, so that was huge, you know?
So other than loving music, that was your first time being able to
speak
express yourself,
to
really
the masses,
speak to the public and share it out. And that
Right.
was in Boston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel now about Like, how do you want to share your talent with Boston? Like, what's that for you?
Man, I just want people to know we're doing some like dope stuff. Like I always been a curator and a cultivator of the arts, like, you know, whatever I'm doing, because I used to draw a lot.
Okay, you used to draw.
Yeah, so
comics.
Yeah, it's just everything. Like, you know, I was heavy into like Marvel and, you know, X-Men and stuff like that. Yeah. So me and my best friend, we used to just draw in the back of church like all the time, and then, you know, that kind of translated musically. I started writing like poems to girls, and like, you know, and that was my little like, okay, I got away with words, like, you know what I'm saying, and that's kind of where that took the poems turned themselves into songs, and then the songs just kind of took on a life of their own, and here I am.
Exactly. Wow, man, that's dope. So when did you decide to be a DJ? Seeing that you were, you know, musically inclined, you felt like you had words, but DJ is like a certain type of confidence you have to deliver, you know? You're not only promoting yourself in your voice, you're basically speaking for the masses and representing a culture, I would say, in Boston, you know, with Jim 94.5.
I mean, I think I started in college, like
doing the radio, DJ radio.
Yeah, so I had a college show at Boston College.
Oh, nice. What was it called?
It was called Freedom.
Freedom. Oh, yeah.
Freedom. It was on Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like when people get out of classes, you know, we just like, it was fun, like, you know, enjoyable music that I just play on Fridays, and that was kind of my first like actual radio show in a college.
And how old were you? How old was you?
It was just college age.
Just college age. Oh, like it was 25 or 18. You're right. 18, 19. I went to college at like 17.
Okay.
Yeah, my first year of college at West Virginia State.
Right.
I went over there and didn't even mind doing photography. It had nothing to do with photography, but I kind of just wanted to get out of Boston.
Okay.
In a sense, share my talents elsewhere.
Right.
You know, that was my first time to see what I can do outside of Boston.
Yeah.
And being able
That's
to experience.
important.
Yeah.
I did that like my I think it was my sophomore or junior year. I just moved to Brooklyn.
Word.
Just on some random,
you
get out of Boston.
Right quick.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense out here.
Definitely.
So, how do you represent the culture? How does DJ Maverick represent for the culture now? In 2017, and you know, I mean, I know you've been doing it for a while, but how would you say you're a representative of the culture today?
I can only be me, and so I'm very proud of who I am and my heritage. You know, I bring whatever I bring to the table. I'm doing it from a young, educated, powerful young black male's perspective, you know? So whether you're seeing me, you know, shut down a club or rap or talk to people, you know, I like to do things where I like give back and like talk to kids, you know, try and put them on the right path. Whatever you're seeing, it's coming from that perspective. So
yes, that's a beautiful thing.
So yeah, that's what I try to bring to the culture, is like everything that makes me who I am, you know.
Yeah, representing for other black men and people that are interested in music, but also trying to be confident in their realm and their heritage. I think it's important that we see others doing the same thing, especially black people like us. It's
so true. Like I mean, when I was growing up, there wasn't too many people like either in my position or, you know, people that I could look up to and be like, you know what, unless it was like an athlete or, you know, something like an actor in some instances, there wasn't too many people that I looked at and was like, oh, I want to be just like him.
So do people call you kind of like for advice sometimes on how to move in Boston or in between the scenes, seeing that you've been a different kind of route and you've had a lot of experience in your craft? Do people kind of like call you for that or look up to you for like ways to succeed as a male?
I definitely have like I have a crew, like even like some of the interns and like, you know, my young boys who come like after me at Boston College. Like I was part of a step team, so.
Okay, so you stepped to a ride. Very good.
Definitely. So, you know, I always represent Sexual Chocolate, SC all day. But yeah, man, they like, you know, I'm always open. I find that too, like people with experience and like, you know, knowledge on a certain subject, whatever it is. There would like knowledge is free. They wouldn't just like give it out. You know what I'm saying? So I try and be that way.
Well,
you know,
exactly.
In my pursuits and whatever I'm trying to do, I always.
Well, that's a key thing. That's another beautiful thing, to be able to share knowledge. If you have it all, I think that's what we have it, is to share and to make sure other people are being able to experience what we experience, if it's joyful to us, and have that same type of feeling. I think everybody is inclined to choose what they really love, and they will at the end of the day. But the experience is key, you know, and it's just even figuring it out if you like it or not. I think
that's what I say about like music. Like for me, if I can make people feel half as good as I feel about music, you know, when I'm spinning a record or just like, you know, doing my thing like as an artist, like if you feel even half as good as I feel about this, you're gonna be alright.
So how do you feel about that? You said if I feel even half as good as you about that, they're gonna be alright in the same moment as you. But in that same sense, when people feel like how do you express like someone who wants to be like you, but wants to really learn like you? Because there's not apprentice anymore, you know? But I find that like we're our own apprentice to each other in some ways. And, you know, sometimes we learn from each other in a sense where we feel like we can do better than them, you know? And I think that that's a kind of an attitude in Boston where we're not so used to the apprenticeship thing, where we just kind of learn from people and try to surpass them, when really we should be building with the people who kind of apprentice us, you know, or who we lead from, or who gave us the first spark of interest, you know. And I feel like we should always look to do better better with ourselves, but also be able to appreciate the knowledge we're given and keep sharing it.
You know, I find that kind of to be true, even in a DJ sense. Like, I know there's a lot of like OG DJs out there that, you know, we grew up like listening to how they rock, and you know, it's like sometimes it's gonna be a thankless job, you know, to a certain extent, because I feel like some people, like, you're gonna, like, even the way that I do certain things, like I know for a fact I learned them from Roy Barboza. I know for a fact, you know, I learned them from like G-Spin or Pup, like guys that came up before me. There's a lot of DJs, and I don't want to like start naming names because I'm gonna forget somebody.
DJ Mav.
But just know that your work is not in vain. That it's like I definitely appreciate, you know, everybody, and I think that's it's
important for people to recognize that too.
Right.
You know, what's appreciated and what's important to share with other people, especially if you learned it from someone else. You know. I think that's a big thing in Boston, you know, coming up and being able to learn photography, not because I felt like I wanted to do it, but because I just wanted to do something else. You know, I wasn't inspired by photography. You know, that wasn't the first thing in mind. It was really being able to learn more about people and to really see how people connected with each other. You know? And if I can connect with people and reflect with the one person, then I'm sure I can teach other people how to do that, you know, and show other people the way about it, you know, about being more personable, being more confident and expressive. So that's the type of training or coaching I like to do with the photos, really allowing people to resonate with themselves and put that out to the world. So have you found what you're really meant to do?
Man, I feel like every day I'm walking in my purpose. And like, cause I have a story, like, you know, I'm just, you know, like I said, a young black man from Boston, you know, by way of Jamaica, just every day trying to figure out ways to be a beautiful person, make the world a better place, make the world a better place than when I entered it. But yeah, like the vehicle that I found is music. Some people have politics, some people have whatever they do, but I feel like every day, you know, I make somebody's day better, and you know, in one way or another, and I feel like I'm definitely doing my job as far as that's concerned, because I don't let a day go by where I feel like I haven't done anything like towards accomplishing like my goal as being like, you know, a dope entertainer. You know, like I'll always be, you know, either working on my craft in some way, whether it's shooting a video, you know, getting the visuals together, like the music. I just wanted to be an overall maverick experience.
Exactly. So speaking of the goals, I mean, what do you plan to accomplish in the next 10 years?
10 years.
You know?
A lot. I definitely want to have.
Like, what do you see? Like, you know, you have a purpose here. And if you was to put yourself in like a zone or in a place, what is the accomplishment that you feel in 10 years you will have made through your history and hard work?
I definitely want to have like a worldwide like #1 record. And I fully feel like I'm capable of doing that.
You are, man.
Yeah.
#1 record, I can hear that.
Yeah,
Your stuff is
yeah.
international.
Yeah.
I can see you traveling across the world, but also giving that Mav experience to people of all cultures.
Definitely.
You know, I really relate to you. I know other people relate to you, and you're so genuinely just fun to hang out with. You know, you're generous. You know, like you've given me time to spend with you, and I think natural generosity is really what the world looks for. You know, something that is just given because they trust or maybe because they believe in something that will happen next.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. You know, and that's something that you carry.
Yeah.
You carry the belief, and you're generous within that, and so that's gonna come back.
Thank
You know,
so
for millions of people.
I just now that you're just saying that, I just want to take a second to like thank anybody who's ever like believed in me.
For sure, yes,
you know?
yes.
That's so important. Like the confidence that we were saying before.
Exactly.
Like that's clutch. Is like, you know, when you're young and you're coming up and you're trying to do something, you're looking for those little things that are gonna give you a little spark to be like, okay, I'm headed in the right direction.
Exactly.
And you know, and when somebody, you know, gives you that vote of confidence, like, hey, I like what you're doing, young man. It's like, yo, that's priceless. Like stuff like that is like you can't put a price tag on it. And like I've gotten so many of those little like, you know, like feelers like from the universe and just like from people. So I just want to just thank everybody who ever, you know, supported.
Thank you, man.
Like, yeah.
Thank you. And so last couple things I wanted to know was like, you know, when you hear the term Boston hip hop, does that mean anything to you? Like, how does that resonate with you?
Yeah, Boston hip hop is like that's life, you know. For me, it's like I live it, I breathe it, I feel it, you know, on a day-to-day basis. Like that's who I am. That's what, you know, separates me from, you know, like the average cat. I feel like it's just, you know, my affinity for hip hop, like the culture that made me who I am. Like just listening to the stuff that I listened to growing up, and just you know, just even the people who made it from Boston. I mean, I definitely want to shout out, like, you know, the Ed OGs, you know, the Bobby Browns, and like, you know, Acrobatic. You know what I'm saying?
So,
like, yeah. Just I don't know. It gives me a good sense of pride when I see those people, and it's always love whenever I see them. So
exactly.
Know,
wow.
I just want to carry on. You know,
that
I'll take the torch.
Okay, exactly.
You know, I'll carry it from here. I got
you. The word.
Yeah. So, and I want to shout out, like, you know, anybody who's like in the game now that's like doing their thing. I appreciate when I see like Christmas, like Stiz, and all those guys. Even like Bad Rabbits, I see them doing their thing.
Definitely, so, live crew.
Yeah, man. It's all love, and I think I want to see everybody just grow and continue to rock together and just have fun, make this music, and just do what we're supposed to do.
Do what we're supposed to do. Keep doing.
Yeah.
Bun B, I was listening to Drink Champs, and Bun B has said, you know, you can't keep, you know, respecting people for what they did. They got to keep doing and maintain that same respect, in sense of still making whatever their purpose is beyond what it's been. You know, sharing the knowledge, being able to teach other folks, and I think that is the legacy that we're kind of building. Is being well respected throughout our years, and being able to still show not only what we've done, but what we're continuing to do.
Yeah.
And so, can you tell me what moment of flavor, like when you hear that, what that brings to your mind?
Moment of flavor, I think. Man, there's a lot of things.
You say them all.
Yeah. All right. So when I think moment of flavor, I think I kind of the point where you just where you like kind of just splash on the scene, and it's like, yo, I'm here, I've arrived, like, you know, I have I've come to this point, I've gotten myself to this point, and I'm ready to show the world like who I am, and, you know, what I've accomplished, you know, over these years, and just like, you know, just put yourself like out there. You know, it takes a certain kind of person to really put themselves out there and be like, splash, I'm here.
Yeah.
You know, take it or leave it. This is me. This is what you're gonna get 24/7, all day, every day. And yeah, I feel like, you know, I'm in my moment of flavor right now. I feel like
salute,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We out
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's a purpose for you to be in, and it was a pleasure speaking to you, today about everything that you're doing, but also how we can connect even more through photography, through conversations like this. And I'm looking forward to not only helping you in the photo essence and trying to capture more images with you and share them with the world, but seeing you keep doing your thing and keep moving. So it was a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
All right, Rev.
All right.
Thanks. All right, Alex.
Oh yeah, guys.
Cool.
All right, we're all set. Yo, that was cool. Slap and slice, and that was a preview to like a series that I'm gonna actually introduce at the company.
Okay.
So that message that I sent you was just so you have background detail on it.
Gotcha.
What I would do is I have a lot of things